Good morning and welcome to the Bad Apple Report. It's 7:30 a.m., bright and early right here at home on the range. And without further ado, folks, I think we really need to get right into this copsplaining segment, okay? And it may just be the only segment of the morning. I had another Bad Apple Report ready to go for you guys, but the YouTube censors decided it was not appropriate. And when it finally comes out, you'll see that it was really just because, well, you'll see. Okay. All right. What do we have here with these Phoenix cops? Okay, they're responding to the DOJ report that says that they are absolutely hideous. They're atrocious. And they have a pattern of violating people's rights. We all know that. But these guys, oh, they're so upset. It's classic. Watch this, you guys.
All right. Thank you all for coming. Before I begin, I want to start off by thanking the members of the Police Chiefs Advisory Boards that have attended, leaders of our community groups, our community leaders somewhere, and members of the Arizona Police Association and the member organizations. Thank you all for being here today. I am Daryl Criplin, the president of the Phoenix Law Enforcement Association. PLE proudly represents approximately 2,200 officers and detectives who honorably serve the Phoenix Police Department. We are frustrated and appalled by the Department of Justice's decision to release the findings report to the public and the media before allowing the decision makers and the department to review it. This tactic is nothing more than an irresponsible and unprofessional smear campaign against the men and women who have continued to courageously serve the community amidst dangerous inflammatory rhetoric by political activists and violent attacks from criminals. The Phoenix Police Department has a long history of self-assessment and self-correction, as outlined in a letter that was prepared in December.
If that were true, would they be in the hot water that they're in right now, sir?
Disseminated by the City of Phoenix in January to the Department of Justice and the local media. In fact, the department is either in process or has already implemented several significant reforms, many of which the DOJ has called for in other agencies that they have investigated and bullied into federal oversight. The Department of Justice is not interested in making local police departments and the communities they serve better. This action
Oh, listen to that broad statement. They're not interested in making things better. They just want to pick on us.
demonstrates that they are only interested in removing control of local police from the communities that they serve through consent decrees that only enrich the monitors who are generally DOJ insiders. Consent decrees have a 30-year track record of significant increases in violent crime, hundreds of millions of dollars in unfunded costs, and a systemic destruction of police staffing and morale. Look no further than our own sheriff's office. If legitimate issues had been discovered by the pattern and practice investigation, why wouldn't the DOJ have brought those to the immediate attention of police and city management? The secrecy surrounding the findings report up to its release and the attempted strong-arming by the DOJ.
They were trying to make sure you goofball, corrupt idiots wouldn't cover your butts like you always do. And they were investigating ongoing shenanigans right up until the time it was released. Goofball.
Of the Phoenix City Council have proven this investigation is a farce. In the end, the taxpayers are fleeced and our community will be less safe. We appreciate the members of the Phoenix City Council, Phoenix Police Department, and concerned residents that are fighting for our community and against the DOJ. Phoenicians deserve a well-functioning department led by professionals who are focused on protecting our community, not a federal agency who wants to implement their own political agenda during an election year. The Phoenix Law Enforcement Association will use every means available to expose the DOJ for the frauds that they are and fight for the men and women.
This guy is useless. Can you believe they're actually paying this guy? He's supposed to be the spearhead for this important cops plan, and he's just like, blah, 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 blah. What a moron.
Who courageously serve the Phoenix Police Department. Before we take questions, I want to introduce Joe Kluwer. He is the Executive Director of the Arizona Police Association. He would like to make a few remarks.
Thank you, Daryl. Good morning. I'm Joe Kluwer. I'm the Executive Director of the Arizona Police Association. The U.S. Department of Justice has once again proven that it does not care about keeping our communities safe.
They don't care about keeping our community safe, you guys. Because they found out that we're a bunch of rights-violating thugs. We've been just destroying people's lives. They found that out.
and is solely focused on limited individual incidents that result in the federal takeover of local police departments. Unfortunately, we knew the results of the DOJ investigation when it was launched in 2021. Not because of any systemic wrongdoing from the Phoenix Police Department, but the DOJ's track record of imposing heavy-handed consent decrees.
No, you guys knew that they had you over a barrel. They're like, oh, they're investigating that thing and that thing and that thing. Uh-oh.
And federal monitors on other jurisdictions with little evidence. We have witnessed the DOJ's endless oversight firsthand with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office and the hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars monitors who rarely visit the state have consumed. The facts are clear. DOJ consent decrees lead to higher crime rates.
We don't need to hear this over and over and over again from one knucklehead after the other, do we? No, we don't. So you know what? We're going to move on with the Bad Apple Report. Let's just call it like we see it. Phoenix police are a bunch of crying, whining little babies. And they're so upset that they're busted being rights-violating thugs. But they are.
Sheriff abruptly suspended in the northeastern part of the state.
Investigators say he broke the law and turned himself in. Georgia's governor stepped in and ordered the suspension. Atlanta News First anchor Alan Devlin obtained the executive order.
And Alan, this suspension is effective immediately, right?
It sure is. After combing through those documents, here's the details that we have. Rabun County Sheriff Chad Nichols' suspension started in just the last few hours. Nichols was arrested back on May 31st for sexual battery, public indecency, and violation of oath by a public officer. The GBI was looking into what was only called an incident with Nichols. Days after his arrest, the governor ordered an investigation into the sheriff, and it came back tonight with the recommendation that Nichols be suspended. His suspension lasts for 60 days, and a judge previously said Nichols cannot direct law enforcement activities while his case is being prosecuted. Blair?
Okay, now if the governor gets involved and suspends you, you know it's something bad. I can't wait to find out what that sheriff actually did. It's going to be funny, and we're going to report on it. But before we do that, we're going to report on this OnlyFans knucklehead cop in Nashville who's now got felony charges for being such an idiot. Okay, I had a little piece on him in the Bad Apple Report that's being held up, so when that comes out, you'll see me dancing around this idiot. Okay. All right,
Police
let's
say
move
there
on.
were times when Herman made other female officers uncomfortable with his sexual advances, which included sharing details about his own OnlyFans account. Herman was suspended and offered a last chance agreement last year, but police say he hardly made it a year before once again putting his job in jeopardy. The patch on Sean Herman's shoulder was only on camera for a fraction of a second, as he was seen groping a woman in this fake traffic stop we now know he orchestrated. Apparently, this patch was all it took for some to notice just how closely it resembled the Metro Nashville logo. Metro Nashville police fired Herman less than 1 day after spotting the video on Reddit last month, but turns out Herman was already on his last strike. News Channel 5 Investigates got a copy of Herman's personnel record, which shows, among other things, a series of bad decisions behind the wheel, but also this: disciplinary action for harassment and discrimination. Records show that last year, Herman signed a last chance agreement to keep his job after police say he created, quote, an offensive work environment for a coworker through sexual comments and actions, end quote. Herman was accused of harassing a female officer by sending her explicit text messages hoping she would sleep with him. Like this message, where he allegedly wrote, "You're a cool chick, just a hot one, so couldn't help wanting to see you naked." Later, when both officers shared a squad car, the female officer said Herman asked her to leave her phone in the car so he could, quote, go through it to get pictures or nudes of her. Herman allegedly told this female officer he wanted those photos for a file he had on his phone of other naked women, but then he began telling her about his own OnlyFans account. Investigators asked Herman about the account, and he admitted to having one for 6 months where he posted one nude photo of himself. The female officer told investigators she tried denying Herman on multiple occasions, but Herman said he thought she was interested in him. Investigators found Herman violated the department's policy on sexual harassment and gave him a 10-day suspension, which they pulled from his vacation time. Herman agreed to these terms, which meant undergoing respectful workplace training and staying out of trouble for at least 2 years. Less than 1 year later, and not only is Herman out of a job, but he now faces 2 felony charges of official misconduct for, once again, his actions while on duty. Herman posted $3,000 bond, and at this point, no court date has been set. This is a developing story, so we'll share what we know when it becomes available.
Okay, you guys, we're going to wrap up the Bad Apple Report early today. I hope you have a great Saturday. That was a couple little updates. Again, that Rabun County sheriff, that Georgia sheriff, we reported on him a few days ago, but now we know that the governor has gotten involved, and that's pretty funny. And that's going to be something really bad when we find out what he did. It's going to be something egregious. I guarantee you that. Okay, and we know now that the OnlyFans cop, oh, Lordy, I don't think we've heard the last of that guy. He's going to be famous. Okay, but we're going to call it a day, folks. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you right back here at 7:30 a.m. with a big old Bad Apple Report tomorrow morning.